Hi Charlton. How you going, man?
I'm all right, mate. Back in lovely Rotterdam, Rotterdam City. Yes.
Right. So where are you right now?
I'm in my studio, or like in our studio. I do this with a friend. We have a studio together, and it's in an old nuclear bunker. So super cool to be here. When shit goes down, I'm safe.
Yeah, 100%. How come you moved back to Rotterdam, man?
Like personal family reasons, and yeah, Berlin was actually a bit finished for me. To be fair, I feel a lot better over here, and my creations and my it's all a lot better for me here. So it's back to basics, mate. Back to basics.
Right. So it didn't really have
Home best
didn't
place.
really have to do with COVID and shit.
No, not at all. I was actually I moved back before COVID.
Oh,
In like let's say that I was like when COVID wasn't here yet. I was between Berlin and Rotterdam. Like I would be staying 3 weeks in Berlin, and then I would come back here for a month, and that's how I basically. I used to travel back and forth, but as this pandemic is bit on
right.
us, I travel a lot less. Yeah,
Yeah. Right. Okay.
I'm here.
So why don't we start like by how you what was your upbringing like in Rotterdam? Like what kind of childhood you had, and like in which part of Rotterdam? Yeah.
Pardon?
Okay, so why don't we just start? Look, you're right. Like, why don't we just start like with your upbringing in Rotterdam? Like, what kind of childhood you had, in in which
Okay.
kind of in which area of Rotterdam you grew up, and how
Cool.
you
Yeah.
started getting into music.
I grew up basically like around 5. I came from another borough, and I grew up in Rotterdam North, which was quite like it was a nice area. A lot of footballing as a kid and all sorts of different stuff. We used to play basketball also, but then I played quite on a high sort of level, but then I started smoking weed and around 16, 17, and then it all went wrong, like so. And that's how I used to go to this place in Rotterdam, like pretty nice coffee shop, basically. Yeah, I think yeah, everybody knows what that is. Smoke. So there were like local DJs, like I think they were all DJs from. We used to have this club called Parkzicht, and some of the DJs were playing there, like 2 o'clock Run and DJ Milton, and it was always on a Friday night. And yeah, big up to them if they're still doing something. I don't think they're proper old now, so I don't know if they do this still. But yeah, that's how I actually grew up. Just a nice area. I school obviously, and I used to play sports. So yeah, until I started smoking, as I said. So.
Right. So like, what kind of music were they playing at the time in those coffee shops and shit?
It could like they played from house to techno tracks. It would depend who would play, like on that Friday night. But it was mostly like just pretty underground music, like yeah, it was super trippy, cool. Yeah,
Right.
man. But
So
I actually I'm from a hip hop background. Yeah, I always forget to say that because I used to like listen to a lot of Wu-Tang Clan and like a lot of old Memphis hip hop, like like 666 Mafia or something. I used to be into that, and then I switched to electronic music. So, but
right.
there was yeah, it was mostly like also like old school sort of early gabber stuff, like the early stuff, not the really fast things. Like
Okay. So
yeah.
so like the shit that you mentioned that was being listened to in those coffee shops and stuff like that would have come basically probably from Detroit, maybe Berlin already, if it was like at the end of the
I
90s.
think a lot of stuff was like, oh, maybe actually like America, some like Joey Beltram, like the
Hmm.
old classic Joey Beltram.
Right.
with the crazy Hoover sounds and that. Like they, yeah, that was basically. And I think we created like the early gabber stuff, which was slower, and it was there was not even a genre back then in many respects. You know, it was different time. Like now we have a lot of like sub-genres and like you know, which is cool. But for me, it's all techno, like in many ways. Like, you know, that's
Yeah.
the thing. So yeah, I think people label stuff a lot quicker now, and back then it didn't matter if it was like, you know, just mix. And I still think in this way, you know, like when I you know, sort of DJ. So
It's kind of crazy how many subgenres there are, like how many techno subgenres there are. Like people try to classify every single, you know, minor different sound, you know, into different category. But yeah, I guess it's probably how it's developed. Yeah. So
yeah, man.
so how, like, what was the rave scene like? Because I guess you started going to raves in Rotterdam at the end of the '90s, beginning of the 2000s. Like what would those look like?
My, my first party was actually like you know, it was actually a legal rave where my friends said like, yeah, come to this rave, and it was actually close to my house. I was about 16, 17, yeah. So we went there, and dude, it was like a techno with a K rave. So I don't know if you know techno with a K. It's like gabber sort of stuff and fast.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, but it was all like the, you know, the crusty sort of scene.
Mm,
Uh, you know, like people with trailer parks and like not you know, like the vans, and they would build a sound system
yeah.
in the middle of nowhere, and you know, you would phone a number. There was no Facebook or whatever, so you phone the number about 6 or 7 o'clock, and then you get the you know, the location, and then you would have to go and find it.
Right.
Sometimes you would not even find it, you know.
Yeah.
But my first party was basically that. And yeah, in Rotterdam, you had like a couple of places, like also the Bootleg DJ Cafe. Shout outs to them, because that's where I also played quite often as a, you know, as a, before I even played or made music. So they were cool. And yeah, at some point they had to stop, which is a shame, because it was like a hub for most DJs out of Rotterdam came, you know, like there. I saw DJ Stingray playing there, for example, in the bootleg. Look it up, the Bootleg DJ Cafe was a cool place, man. I think you still have that set online from DJ Stingray at Bootleg DJ Cafe, man. Pretty cool. It was actually from this dude, you know, Tim, from Extracts. You know, this Misha and Tim. He's like really old, sort of Rotterdam acid kind of Misha and Tim, and they had like a proper hit. But those guys was from one of them guys. I think it was Tim that run Bootleg, and yeah, it was also a fucking gnarly place, to be honest. It was gnarly. It was gnarly because you would go in, and you know, it was just this like vibe of, yeah. Rotterdam was a bit different back then, you know, like raw vibes of,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So did you also have clubs in Rotterdam at the time that were playing this music, other than all of this bootleg thing?
Yeah. You had, for example, Nighttown was quite a like big thing in Rotterdam, but they had to close down. It's like yeah, it's a shame. They are like a Chinese supermarket right now. Like they actually built it into a Chinese supermarket, man. So yeah, that when that actually closed, we had other clubs popping up. You know, like of course. So for example, yeah, Nighttown was actually one of the first places I played, and that's also back then I knew Basmooy already and Perry. They used to throw up the strictly techno parties, you know, the strictly techno parties, and that was proper ace, like strictly techno. Shout out to Basmooy and Perry for that, for booking me, you know. And I think it was a live set I've done, like my first live set in Ableton.
So when would
Um,
that have been, like, which year?
Fucking hell, man, I can't even. I think it was maybe 2000. 3 or 4.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay, so
Something like,
it was like
yeah,
Basmooy and shit who were like organizing these like underground techno parties in the clubs at the time.
indeed, indeed. And then, but I was also I was living in another city for my study, you know. So I was coming back from there, and later on, I met Buzz, like, and it's how it actually all started rolling, like in my, you know, like my release career or whatever you call that, like biography of my music.
Like he basically triggered your shit, basically.
Yeah, no, but he like yeah, like I used to be very annoying, so I would come to the. I've got a friend with me, Alex Pye from Berlin. He probably jump in also.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah. Jump in. So yeah, it's fun, right? So that was like I was quite annoying, and I used to go to Triple Vision every motherfucking day, and I used to skip school. Sorry, mum. Yeah, before that, yeah, I used to skip school, so I would come with a CD every fucking time, and until Basmooy he went mental, crazy of me, and he was like, "Yeah, okay, right, man, we will make something together," and then I gave him parts, and that's how we start rolling, and yeah, that's even before Mort, by the way. That's like Audio Assault Records, like that's yeah. But that's 2005. I started releasing with him, or with him.
So
I'm still doing good.
Oh, okay. So Audio Assault Records was like the predecessor for Maud.
Yeah, it was like Basmooy and Jeroen Librex, radio, you know, radio. Yeah, it was those two, and they radio. Jeroen Librex, he moved to Spain right now, but he's like yeah, very very good artist, man. Radio, you should check it out.
Radio with a B?
Nah, it's with an R-A-D yo. D-yo.
D-O R-A-D-E-O.
Radio. It's
like radio, like the fucking, like the shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
radio.
right. Okay. Right.
That might be my whole fucking weird English Dutch accent. But,
no. Your English is native, bro. What the fuck?
I mean, of course.
Jump in, Alex.
I met him in England, actually. We were both, that's where I first met him. That was, I think, like more than 10 years ago, was it? I mean,
yeah,
like 10
Wait, why don't you introduce yourself and like...
Yeah. Alex, yeah. I mean,
Alex just actually came from Berlin in COVID times. Fucking Alex Pye. Yeah. I know this motherfucker. For a long time. Yeah. So it's fun.
It's been a long time. I haven't seen him actually, and I was just traveling over, and he said, "Pass by the studio," and now suddenly I'm here. But yeah, I mean, through all this story, I get to remember a lot of things because I mean, I met him also in England when it was the next phase after the one you are actually describing now.
Yes.
It was like a good time, actually.
Exactly. So that's how I met Bas, and then I felt like that I had to go to England, and I met Nick Danton, the 65D Mavericks from, and then I got a job offer in London to work, but in a studio. But this guy turned out to be, I'm not angry anymore, Darko Viric.
He was really angry. Actually.
I'm not angry anymore, Darko Viric. You're forgiven. You're a good lad. Crazy hand. Yeah, man. So yeah, no, it was. I learned a lot from that period also because this Darko Viric, a really good musician actually, you know, and he, so that's how basically I went to England. He offered me the job, and I met Nick before that, and me and Nick, man, he's also a person that like really helped me in my in my creative flow, and he knows about it, like my in my abilities that I can do. Nick Danton is a fucking don. I like definitely, and he would always be annoyed because if I I listen to stuff and I can sort of do it, but I was like also looking next,
Yeah, Nick
Yeah,
also.
so, over his shoulder, like, yo, yeah.
Like, what were you trying to do?
Pardon?
What were you trying to do? Like, I didn't understand. Like,
And I would look over his shoulder in the studio because he always used to take me
right,
with him to the studio, and yeah,
to learn from him and shit.
yeah, proper. You know, I was basically sort of apprentice or something. He made me fucking rewire all the studio, mate. You know what I mean? That's like graft. But I
Yeah.
have some kids here in Rotterdam that come in the studio because they're friends, and they start fucking touching shit right away, man. No respect, no respect. Used to be different, man. I would get a lick, man. I would get a slap for even touching something before I even, you know, or he would call me the C word or whatever, man. Like, well, he's like proper Don, man. Shout out to Nick Dunton, 65D Mavericks.
Right.
You know, like you done a lot for me too, man. And, like,
So, so what, like this guy that offered you like this position in a studio in London, like what, first of all, what were
Man, I met this motherfucker in Serbia, you know? I met him in Serbia because I had a gig in
Okay.
Serbia with like the concrete DJs. They booked me and I had a tour with them, and that was like maybe my second tour, like out of the net, you know, like just and it wasn't like we had like a little Balkan tour. I went to Montenegro.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I'm in Montenegro, mate. That's like the, you know, the Balkans, man, like close to your brotherhood. So, Serbia. So, mate, that was actually, man, that was quite mad. Like, because I went there, and you know, it was not very long after the war or something, you know, maybe. So it was raw, man. Like, you know, and you know, like I'm not want to be like, you know, I had like different ideas in my head, like, you know, being a black dude going to like fucking Serbia, bro. I only got a lot of love there.
Right.
A lot of love.
Kind of love.
Oh no, from the people, man. They're cool.
Yeah,
yeah, you know.
Right. Okay, so other than, you know, Basmooy and a couple other artists that you mentioned, like what were like the most prominent artists in Rotterdam like at the time, and how do you feel like
at the time?
Sorry, yeah, at the time. And how do you feel like the Rotterdam scene was like influenced by Berlin and shit?
Not very much, man. Like I don't think so. Like
Not at all.
We've always been very stubborn people here. You know, of course we're like, you know, techno is apparently like, you know, it's like from, it is either like America, right? Or maybe not, because you also had like Liaison Dangerous and all this sort of stuff that's been sampled by a lot of people. A lot of people don't know this, but that's already for me sort of like electronic techno-ish stuff. You know, yeah. Of course, Juan Atkins started doing the Model 500 stuff, which was like proper done. You know, like it used not. You know, it was just different. So that's actually really nice music. You know, like and it had a steady beat already back then. Like the Liaison Dangerous, if I say that correct. You know, yeah. One of my favorite bands, to be fair. Classic. It's like 90 fucking what? 82, 83 or something?
Yeah, mid 80s.
Mid 80s.
Early 80s.
Yeah, and of course, Kraftwerk. Come on, man.
I mean, that's what they were listening as well.
They were listening to that, man. Come on, man. Like Kraftwerk. So, yeah, the debate if techno is black or not, I don't fucking care. You know, it's like, in the end, it's music. Some people make, you know, like assumptions, like, you know, like, yeah, man, especially now in this weird times. You know, you remember the whole, I will have to address it, the whole George Floyd thing, yeah, what happened. So, like, by people fucking, I'm coming closer, man, I'm coming closer. Yeah? By people basically posting a fucking black square, yeah, and say, yo, no, techno's black, man, you should support black people. That doesn't go over fucking night, man. Music is fucking music. Yeah, if you're a good person, you're a good person. That's my opinion about all this fucking race debate bullshit. Or you're a fucking idiot, and you will, like, you know, go into that shit. Like, not for me, not here.
But like,
incorrect, for example.
Yeah, it's fucking,
this is not
fucking
cool.
politically correct.
I mean, this is not cool.
You know, like, come on, man. If you want to do that and you think it's good, fine for me. But I'm not.
You're not partaking in that shit. Yeah, I understand like the political correctness and that woke shit, you know, gets on my nerves as well. But like, I don't know. It's interesting to ask you as a black artist, have you ever felt like you've been somehow discriminated against because you're black?
No, man, fucking not at all. First of all, like I'm from the Netherlands. I'm from Europe. Yeah. Okay, maybe if you're from America, there's the race difference there. I've been there. It's quite, you know, like it's heated. I got like actually in a fight with a black friend of mine, and I'm not gonna name any names. Yeah, no, but it's like, you know, I understand because it's so far out than anything else, and you would probably think that other people would be like that too. But you know, the thing is, mate, like there's one thing I'm saying: we can only win together, man. You know, we can only win together. That's the thing. Of course, you got like people, as I say, they're idiots, man. You know, they don't know any better.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's a complicated situation, basically, and I know that I'm in a nuclear basement and making music, so clearly,
That's all that matters.
frankly, let's say it like that, I don't give a fuck.
All right.
Who asked me about it? Right? Yeah.
Like, don't you think that it makes sense to like promote black artists? And this is your opinion, obviously, but I think it could make sense, and I'm not an expert, but like to promote maybe black artists or other, you know, minorities like the LGBTQ community or something like that, you know, so these people have more exposure where they typically maybe haven't had that exposure.
I think music is exposure, right? It's like if you're shit and your music is shit, like just frankly, I say it quite rough. If you're shit and your music is shit, you know, yeah, no, I'm like, you know, I'm saying it with a smile because don't get offended, yeah. But like, your music should be there, man. Like, it doesn't matter if you're like a transgender or black or whatever, man. You know, like what I said before, let's win together, and then we can all talk, yeah. Like, I understand. Like, you know, of course, things need to be addressed, but
yes, in an activistic way, it's cool. Actually, it's like, especially in America, it's important.
It's cool, but you know, like,
but yeah,
I'm honest, man. Like, some movements, like we have some movements right now, and they're not going to do anything for me because I went on their website. I've been reading stuff about it, and I you know, I don't let myself out about this, but you know, they're not going to fight for me, man. You know, so like, yeah. All I say is like, put away the differences, yeah. Let's come together when all this shit is over and dance. And I hope people are smashed on like a lot of stuff. So they're gonna probably hug too, which is totally illegal right now, almost. So that, but you know, it's all good, man. I'm chill, man. I'm also just, you know, if you're in your own bubble, like now I'm definitely really in my own bubble, and I'm in Rotterdam, and that's perfect for me, man. I really don't care like about a lot of stuff that make my music and be in my bubble and, you know, hang out with good friends, because technically all this stuff didn't used to matter at all a couple of years ago.
Yeah, no, that's totally
especially where I am from.
Yeah.
Like Rotterdam has always been united since I'm little, man. I got lots of friends, Turkish friends, Moroccan friends. I even had a Greek friend. He's a Greek friend, but I've got loads of friends. Like where I grew up, you know, I grew up with a lot of nationalities, like Dutch guys, a lot of people, man. So, like, I'm blind for it. I don't see it.
You basically haven't seen that. Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah, no, I'm not ignoring it. I'm not ignoring it, man. Now, of course, I had like a situation where somebody would be dumb.
Oh yeah. Now, but I guess it's like totally different growing up.
This person was dumb, and some guys took action, and I didn't even take the action. But this guy's clear. There was one guy, he clearly was white, and he called me the N-word, yeah. And this white dude smashed them up.
Yeah.
Just for being politically incorrect.
Yeah.
So it could go two ways, man. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like, you know, like, man, as I say, let's come together and win. Let's go to the next question.
I mean, that's what this music was always about. It's like
Man,
about bringing different people
is what I'm saying, like,
from different social groups.
also
together.
back in the days, like for in Chicago, man, like all this stuff started from, I think, people that were oppressed and like, you know,
Yeah.
if you're black, gay, or Chinese or whatever, it doesn't matter, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
You come from an oppressed group. I mean,
yeah.
that's
I
the
don't even
common-
see. I don't even, you know, man, dude, man. I don't even see this anymore, man. You know, like, certainly, I'm like a bit older now, and I really don't see this anymore, man. Like, literally, and I really, to be fair, in Rotterdam, I never seen it, and when I moved to England. England is also quite advanced in this, man, because you're multicultural. Yeah. You know, it's multicultural. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, of course, there's going to be divides with some groups of people, but you know, like, I've always been in multicultural sort of places. So, yep. Yeah, Germany was actually the less multicultural fucking place I've lived. Berlin was the most less multicultural,
which is pretty. Multiculti,
but it's multiculti, but it's not multiculti like how I'm used to it here, you know.
Yeah, right.
It's all different ballgame, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's interesting that you mentioned that because, for instance, and she's from another generation, like, but my old flatmate, she's black, her dad's from Sudan, and her mum's German, and she's like extremely obsessed with, you know, political correctness and that shit. And I mean, I'm not criticizing it because she's got her own. You know, circumstances and shit, and like, what am I? Who am I to say, you know, you shouldn't think like this or like that? Like, she's got her own way of thinking, but some of the stuff she says, I think, is bullshit. And I think
you're like, what? Where are you from again, mate? You're like, because we spoke before. You're Spanish and Australian, right?
Exactly.
So, you know, how would it be for you? Like when you were in Australia, would they call you would they say, oh, you're half Spanish or whatever? Like, would
Nah, not really.
They make fun of it or like, it's just a question for you. Okay, yeah, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, you need to figure out, you know, like.
It's complicated.
I'm a mix of music because my parents are from Suriname, you know, like, so there's a lot of Surinamese people in the Netherlands. In Berlin, there was none, and I missed the food, so that's why I fucked up. Yeah, man, bro.
Yeah. Right. So, okay, why don't we, you know,
Berlin, man.
I can, but you can,
yeah.
Let's hop back into the music. Yeah.
I want to help me too.
So, can you tell me a little bit about your main influences and how your productions have evolved since you first started out making music, like first started producing?
Oh, man, like when I was younger, I didn't really care and I would just make 7 tracks or 8 tracks a day without looking back. But now it's like, you know, the better you get, the more difficult it gets because you keep on learning every time. And now I switched to like a bit of modular and quite a bit of hardware stuff like over the few years now. Actually, right now, where like we done an interview, but I think something went wrong with it. You know, now I'm actually really not using any software anymore. Almost, it's like Ableton is just a massive tape machine. So I just do jams. Maybe sometimes arrange it, but normally I just do like straight up live jam and record it in stamps, and then I basically start mixing it down and everything, you know, on the desk, because everything goes to the desk from Ableton on the mixer. So it's like it's a whole different world. I used to like to make a lot of music in the computer also. And when you're on the way or like, you know, when you feel like making a track at home, it's like fun. You can also bring it back to the studio. But if I did not come to the studio for a couple of days, yeah, it would be, you know, I start missing the studio, man, especially when I'm away or.
Right.
Imagine I met Charlton, like, and he was He would make 3 tracks on his headphones, only with his laptop on the couch or maybe on the pillow sometimes.
Man, I would be in bed.
He would be he would just like make tracks like out of like
I don't be, but this is actually like literally. You remind me of some.
There was a joke like on his pillow.
I made tracks.
He would make a track.
I make tracks in bed. I would make tracks in bed, man. Like with my headphones on, you know. And yeah.
Old joke that was.
But now you cannot. Yeah, I can. You know, I wish I could sleep with my mother though.
Literally.
Right.
Oh man. Oh, this is going wrong. No man, but yeah.
Okay, so if you had like, what can we talk about like what COVID's been like for you? Like with fires and stuff like that.
Dude, man, like normally, you know, like. Yeah, I had like a bit of I had some gigs last year, but it was a bit more quiet. And this year, man, I was getting stuff in, and I would have a couple of gigs in like nice places, you know. And the last gig I done was in Amsterdam, and it was in March. It was unpolished, yeah. So it was quite yeah, it was pretty. It was good gig. It was big. That was before COVID. I've done 3 gigs in Berlin, but they were like small ones. But I'll get to that. So yeah, you saw a chain reaction of gigs getting cancelled.
Yeah.
After that, you know, after the 10th of March, I think, and it was like all of a sudden it got through all the fucking world like quick. Probably because of air travel, yeah. So they start talking about the food, but man, I don't know what happened at that rave, but nobody got infected at the rave, you know? It was a massive rave, dude, where people would fly from Spain and Italy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was mad. It was mad. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, man, can I get infected or not? But, you know, everybody was sort of, you know, how it goes at a party, man, like, you know, yeah. What can I say?
What was it? Early March, really?
It was the 10th of March, right?
Okay, yeah, the last weekend that things were allowed.
The 10th of March, yeah, it was that. And then in April, like, yeah, I was like, nah, come on, man, let this pandemic stop now, because I was going to play in Colombia and I was like having a 2-week holidays, and I missed it, man. I missed it. And Colombia is just really fun to play also, but I missed my holidays, man.
Yeah.
And then I would go to New York. Yeah. Come back to the Netherlands, play on King's Day, Queen's Day, whatever you call it now, King's Day, and then come to Berlin to play. You know, like it was a whole, like everything just, not only the income, but you know, but like I missed that. But I went into a big creative flow right now.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been this. I've been creative in my life, but now I had a lot of time, especially with the first lockdown. It was just me and my studio partner here. We were here a lot, locked ourselves away at night, and
that's a good thing actually.
Made a lot of music, man. And of course, I had a little, you know, like stream here and there. And in the beginning, I was streaming a lot in the first weeks on my Facebook, you know, just to give people some hope and fun. You know, and I would play everything. Like I done reggae sets, I done like footwork sets, you know, just for music that people would not be used to, you know, like I would play that because I like a lot of music also, like electronic other music, you know. So it gave me a lot of actually like freedom. COVID gave me freedom.
Yep.
Less
traveling as well. You have
less traveling, and you have time to think. And I'm working on some other stuff. I don't want to say a lot about it yet, but people will notice in the future. They're happy. Right. And yeah, man, just different things than DJing, man. You know, I'm trying to set up some good lessons and stuff for people. Like they have a little Patreon thing. You know, if people are interested, and you can come and learn, you know. That's
Right.
fun, I think. And other than that, I've been working with a lot of interesting people actually also, and also like we have 11 studios here,
Mm.
and there's a lot of interesting people here, all sort of to do with techno and like other stuff too. Like next door, we have a guy. He has a massive modular rig. He got a bigger modular rig than me. I just got a little bit of modular kit, but he is insane. It's like two guys. One is on the guitar. It's more, like they're in their 50s, so it's like they make nice music.
Okay.
And there's 11 studios. There's two people just moved in now, and my studio partner is actually running the building, so the basement, that's so to speak. So yeah, man, there's a lot of cool stuff going on here. A lot of unity. It's fun. Yeah, man. Good things here.
I've got to go take a piss real quick. Just
Go on, man. You can edit it out.
Don't have to be in there. I thought it was part of the.
It's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it's all right. It's good. It's good. I mean, maybe it's recording now. So
Now he's gonna do the heck it out.
yeah. No, I think it's cool.
Still have a joint behind our ears, man.
I went quickly out to switch.
Yeah.
You think we can order some food at some point?
Here.
Yeah, happened before.
Sure, of course. You're in
Yeah, I know.
fucking internet.
I'm in Berlin. It's like and now you get food.
And here we'll cover like 20 minutes, so I'm like.
Right, thanks for that.
That's right.
Okay, so you were basically saying that you got like into like quite a creative loop thanks to COVID, but maybe it was because you had no distractions. Like producing was basically the only thing you could do. Yeah.
No, in the beginning, there was like, I would go on the fucking streets. Like it was like every day. It was like a Sunday, mate. You know, every day was like a Sunday. So it was pretty boring. It was pretty boring, man.
It is the case, man.
But you know what? It also you drinking, man.
Oh, really?
There was a lot of drinking.
Right.
Studio time and drinks.
Right.
And hang around with friends and like discuss what was gonna happen in this fucking dystopian time. Yeah. But now it's less dystopian, you know what I mean? People know more. Yeah, people know more.
We got used to it. Yeah, you got used to it.
No, just people know more about this weird disease. Like, you remember all the media-driven stuff there. You saw people like falling down in China and that, man. Mental.
I mean, I was reading now. I mean, you will have to do that now. The vaccine comes out, and then everyone is saying, yeah. I mean, you can get into the club if you're vaccinated. So I mean, here you go. Okay?
Yeah. Good luck. I'm not gonna fucking do that, mate. Like,
I mean,
they're not gonna they're not gonna vaccine me anyways.
They're not gonna let you travel though if you don't get vaccinated. I mean,
that's like a whole different topic, man. Like, how can you control people like that if they're being healthy? All that. You're like, my immune system is fucking guns blazing, mate, man. You know what I mean? I eat good. I smoke good. And the other stuff is a lot less now. Like,
Other stuff.
Huh?
What's the other stuff?
Oh man, just other stuff, man. Like for example, I'm more on the machines than with people. I don't have for example, I used to have girlfriends and stuff, and I don't have a relationship now. So I cannot meet anyone. The only thing I can meet is my machine.
Yeah, all right.
That sounds so sad, man. It sounds so sad. You know, oh yeah, nah, it's like, but yeah, I'm a really very happy person right now.
Perfect. You know, like that. What you said about the beer and hanging out and shit, like that or the drinking actually. That reminds me of like my mates. I was in Australia as well, and my mates during the lockdown, which is quite, you know, light in comparison to Europe and shit. They'd just be fucking smoking weed all day and like drinking every day. And I'm like, you guys have turned into alcoholics basically, like just without notice, you know?
Tell me something.
Yeah.
Tell me something, man. Like, is there any alcohol over here?
Yeah, there was 2 bottles over there. Yeah.
You want a bit of wine?
Yeah, I'm kind
I've got a bottle of wine here. There's always a bit of studio booze here, man.
Well, it is Friday, so.
Yeah. No, normally I don't try to drink during the week anymore. And you need to see it like this, yeah. The lockdown here, because I know in Germany you've been restricted quite quickly with the masks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
They just put in the mask here on the 2nd of December.
Oh,
So now we have to wear a mask in public spaces. Because now we're in my room, so it's. But if I go outside and upstairs, I would probably have the mask on in the building, under the ground. But you know, it's like it's been quite relaxed here with COVID, and you know, the second wave. Like now, you know, they talk about the second wave, and then the second wave comes.
No, it's now.
And now it's second wave, and people are like fucking like being annoying about it, like, you know, like media driven. I'm not saying it's not there, but you know, if you scare people, you're not going to be, you know, you're going to be scared, and you're not, you know, your immune system might go down because you're scared to go outside. You need like sunlight and vitamin D. Go for a run, see a nice woman and all nice man if you're into that. You know,
you know, that's totally true. Like staying inside and shit and not getting any sun and just like being 24/7 at home is fucking bad for you.
Shit fucks you, man. So you need to go outside, and that's why I'm happy. I could go to the studio every day, and like I would bike, and there would not be anyone on the bike lane. It was just me and my bike, and like total silence in the middle of the night. And then, like, I'm in the West Harbor here, you know. So upstairs, actually, if I go outside, you're in the harbor. So like,
really?
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice.
Industrial area, like industrial part of the harbor.
Yeah, it was also a power plant next, you know, but they cleared all the grounds out, so like it's all cool. But yeah, man, it's Rotterdam industrial niceness, music.
Yeah. So that's like the biggest harbor in Europe, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It used to be the biggest of the world until we tried.
Yeah. Now I think it's like
bigger, better, stronger, faster. Right? What's that name of the song? Is that not Def Punk? Bigger, stronger, faster. That was actually a good track.
Right.
Guilty. Sorry.
So.
I didn't know that.
So, like, what's the concept behind your name, Charlton, and the Ravenberg? Like, the Raven.
Charlton is actually my given name, my friend.
Yeah.
Like,
right, I know, but
It's not the football team.
It's not the it's not Charlton Athletics, man. So that's why people cannot find me, because it's about, you know, if you type in my name, you get Charlton Athletics.
Yeah.
So you have to type in like Charlton.
Nah, but like what's
Techno star? But now they would write this Charlton black techno artist. Oh jeez, man, no, lost.
That's me as well. Looking back,
this time.
But I just put Charlton Techno or Charlton DJ or some shit, and you.
Yeah, I know you see me. You'll find me.
What's up with the Raven and shit?
Surname.
My surname, man. My name is Ravenberg.
Is your surname?
Ravenberg is my surname. Charlton Ravenberg.
Right.
That's my surname. So that's why the secret is the
like
Raven.
there's like no like profound, you know, meaning.
Ah, man, it's like real, it's pure.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you could do fucking theft now
yeah.
with my bank credits that I don't have at the moment. You can steal like 10,000 if you know, identity theft. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. And I'll note that down.
God.
I do that shit.
Okay. I think the weed is weird enough, man. No, but you know, like people could do that. You know, it's my real name, but people always ask me, "Is that your real name?" So for everyone, that's the real name. Yeah, man.
Surname. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about this Diesel EP. Like, why did you decide to release these tracks now, like in 2020?
Shout outs to Basmooy again. I lose shit. He keeps always shit, and he actually gave me those tracks, and I was like, oh man, damn, did I actually make this? And I gave him. There's more of these tracks actually. I could give to people, but I maybe do later. So actually, there's actually the guy from Tar Hollow Records, yeah. Tar Hollow, you know Tar Hollow? Thanos. I played him to him, and he's like, yeah, man, I will release him. And he works at Triple Vision now, and he actually gave him to the guy from Planet Rhythm, the owner of Triple. And he's like, yeah, you want to do a release with me? And we were always going to do that, and he done it now, you know. And I think he wanted them because it's like archive tracks. That's the tracks out of 2006 or 7 or something, man. It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't got released back then, but you know, some things you sit on, and I even forgot about them because Basmooy had them on his hard drive.
Yeah,
I probably gave them to him for a release, and he never listened to them.
So can you explain like what's like behind, you know, these, you know, you use like loads of machine sounds, you know, stuff breaking, a broken beat, obviously no drops, you know, like kind of progressive.
No. Why is there any drops? Why should there be any breaks?
Are there?
Why should there be any? You know, I of course there are some breaks, like, but they're only like a fraction. Like, why would you have a break? You need people to fucking dance.
Yeah. 100% with you. But like, is this music, you know, characteristic of?
Maybe it's because I'm like,
you shut up.
Yeah, from Suriname, from South America. You know, like our music is also like pretty, you know, yeah, it's tribal. Right. I make tribal with machines. Machine Gun Funk, Biggie Smalls, yeah. You know that one, Machine Gun Funk, yeah.
I don't know that.
Notorious B.I.G. You know that?
No, I don't know.
Fuck, I'm old.
I love rap.
Or maybe someone else. But I think Machine Gun Funk, you know, Machine Gun Funk. He says that in his rap, Machine Gun Funk, or something like that. But you know, that's what I try to do with machines, like all with a computer. I just want, you know, so a lot of people complain to me, man. I really like your tracks, but I cannot play it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, man. And in my head, it's like, yeah, maybe you should go try DJ a bit better, because it's quite out of. Yeah, I like swing. Now, a lot of swing on my music and that, like, you know, give a bit of human machiney funk tribe. I don't know what it is, man. It's hard to, you know, to explain.
So you can't really like give it a sound, like say, like explain the sound behind that EP. Like what kind of sound is that? How do you describe that?
Which one? Which EP? The one, the
like
2007?
Like these old archive tracks.
Oh, the archive tracks I just done. Like I think I got from a rave. My mom is not gonna look at this. So I came from a rave, and I probably done them after a rave, like guns blazing after a Regis or Surgeon set. And I think they done a lot for me too. Actually, shout out to Tony and Carl, Surgeon and Regis. So yeah, that was like man. Yeah, I think it was. So if you listen to it, it's sort of a, you know, how can it, not a rip-off, but ode to the
Inspired by.
by
I can tell that.
by those people, you know, like.
Totally. When I met him, he was like totally on this. It was after the Echelon plan and these releases you made with, we were more melodic. And
I
then,
went quite a bit melodic. I've been like.
And then it was totally Birmingham-ish kind of aggressiveness, like.
Yeah.
Really solid. Really solid.
Yeah, like yeah, man. It's like he's basically seen. There's other people that really seen me grow as a producer also, or maybe as a DJ or whatever. Like
very much. Yeah.
I just like to make music, man. Like yeah, I try to do it as long as possible.
So you told me last time we spoke that you're like one of your favorite artists is Surgeon and shit. So do you feel like his live sets, he normally does live sets, doesn't he? He only does live sets, doesn't he?
Nah, he's like, he was actually one of these people that inspired me to play with Ableton. Like, cause I played in Ableton for 10 years before I went sort of back to the, you know, the CDJs kind of type of thing. I didn't want to give it up, but then I was thinking, why the fuck am I taking my computer into a club all the time, man? And I would have to annoy someone. Yeah, I would have to annoy someone. And but now we actually have this. We have a nice machine here that you know, links to the Pioneer system. So I might be thinking about like little hybrid DJ sets again. If it's probably gonna do a stream from here. You hear the techno pumping from the other room. Yeah, man.
How the time is low.
Yeah. They got some PA system in there, man. They're nuts.
Nice.
But yeah, man. Like, you know, like, yeah. There's so many ways of playing, you know, and Surgeon definitely took me to the boundaries of playing with that stuff, you know, like, because before this, I was playing on vinyl, and then I went into I never really used Traktor. I was in Ableton, so I used to warp a lot of music for hours and hours, like, and I would have like 400 tracks in my Ableton, and I would go totally mad with that. Like, yeah, it was a fun time, but you know, at some point I went back to CDJs because it has the sort of like vinyl feel, and I of course I love vinyl, and I still buy like albums and that, like, you know, that I want to have, but I don't really think I would buy a club record anymore, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
and it's also
no, yeah, I press them for people that actually like to be playing with vinyl, you know. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but you know, like, shit. You got me there. No, but you know, I like to play vinyl too.
Why not? Yeah, I mean,
we have a deck. We have a deck here. We've got 2 decks. So 2 decks and CDJs and like something that sings to it. So yeah, man, I love the sound from vinyl, definitely, but over the years to take vinyl to a club and you don't know how the decks are gonna be, you know, you might.
That's it. Yeah.
That's a bit of a problem. And when I start traveling a lot more, oh man, that shit is heavy, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
But it's definitely cool, and I was always with sort of technology, and I wanted to like use technology with yeah.
You know, like maybe I really like when people mix and shit, like analog or the CDJs and the vinyls in a set. Sometimes can be cool. What do you think about Lady Starlight? She's also a very good live DJ performer.
Yeah, she's like modeler, like yeah, it's cool. Like, yeah, I think. Yeah, I've heard some of her music. It's quite technical, I guess, you know, like.
Yeah.
And I know her through Surgeon, actually. Yeah. I know her through Surgeon brother, I'm right?
Right.
Yeah, back then.
Right.
So
yeah.
I know she had like sort of Lady Starlight, Lady Gaga. You know, like, yeah. So it was actually very weird for me to see something like that. But it needs adventures, and it's happening.
It's opening to the open.
It's opening to the masses.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's why I think the whole activism comes, because now this culture is more accessible to is out there to more people, and then you have to shout out your message actually. And if it's about supporting minorities and all that, I mean, maybe that's why we're going through all this time now. I mean, it would make sense if this culture gets more popular, then it would.
Of course, you get more politics in cultures that are accelerating. It's accelerated too fast, actually.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So it basically, it took away the essence of what it actually fucking means. Yeah. Of course, you can mix politics with music, but go scream in a punk band then.
Politics, like, I mean,
well, I'm just joking, but but like, yeah, man, like, of course, man, it's super cool, but people sometimes forget that music counts as like, I've been making it so long, and like that counts actually the most, like, and you put a lot of hours in, and you don't get a lot back for it, if I'm here from maybe 11 till 1 o'clock at night, sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm under the ground all day.
Yeah.
So, but all the work you put in producing, you don't get back in money, man. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter, but like you put a lot of hours in. Like,
yeah, but at least you're not working a fucking office job, which is fucking horrible, which you would get, an hourly rate, a tangible amount of money for.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean, yeah, man.
Sell your soul to the devil, basically.
I mean, things are gonna. I mean, this is the changes of a lot of people. I can see a lot of people getting discouraged,
Yeah, people are going away, man. Some people go away, but there's some person that always says this, people come and go, man. People come and go, mate. Like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
So but people better get used to this face. Not a lot of people actually, like, I'm always being a bit like a myth or something, right? People don't really know how I look like, man. It's a bit different. It's different. It's weird.
Yeah.
Some people know and some people don't know. That, like, they would think they speak to some hip hop dude. The way I dress.
That's cool, actually. I mean,
it's super, yeah. But not that it matters. But it's man, it's fun. But I'm not going anywhere. So I've said that I would go. All I do now on Facebook and stuff is like post music and just stuff with friends, and like I don't really use it anymore as I'm gonna rant now. Like, I get so many trends promos in my fucking email. Oh yeah, stop whining, you fucking little bitches. Come on, man. just don't say anything. Just like don't listen to it then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all people that actually like take their time to say not for me. In a promo. What's the point, man? Just like, or have a dislike. I don't care if you dislike my shit. Like, there's a lot of people that do like your shit. Like, it's that game, man.
No,
it's that game. You like it or you don't like it. And I like a lot of stuff, man. I like a lot of music. Yeah. And people sometimes think that I don't like it, but like you would be. This is funny. You'll be picked up from a gig, for example. You land somewhere, and people just assume that you want to listen to techno right away in a car, So like, nah, man, I want to listen to like.
Quite the opposite, actually.
Yeah, I'm the opposite, man. Like in my spare time, I really don't want to listen to techno, actually, man, bro. Yeah. I like it when I have to DJ and stuff. Like, I will listen to a lot of. But recently, I'm honest. Recently, man, I downloaded a lot of really good music, bro. Like, I'm honest. I played this, like, I have this monthly show now, actually, at Operator Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I play monthly now. And what I try to do is, like, pick stuff which is totally for people that are maybe known or not known. And I played a lot of stuff from unknown people, and they were all woo, woo. I was loving it, man. So there is people that do good stuff, like 100%. You know, you don't have to be in every style. There's always something good from anything.
True.
So what I'm trying to do is melt in my stuff. I like to play. Man, if it's a fucking rough house track, I would try to play it in my techno set. I even play trap in my techno sets, bro, and layer it and stuff. You know, like just to create good vibes. And
so you like
you remember that? You play Guillotine at Burger? Or was it Skang? I played Skang. You know Skang?
No, I don't know.
On the bag.
The bug, Skang. I
No.
actually played that in Burger, and it's like pretty yachty, pretty London. Skang. You don't want to see me get evil. Yeah, it's like a classic London tune, man.
Who's that?
It's like dubsteppy, you know. It's dubsteppy.
Oh, right.
It was innovative. That album
Innovative,
was the beginning of an era. Like that album.
Yeah, man. It was like that's what also started all the crossovers and stuff,
Right,
you know.
Right.
Like people like Instrumental and like who else, man? Who else? Like
Also
Kamikaze Space Program.
Yeah. Chris.
Shout out to Chris.
Chris.
Yeah, man. He's I've also done some stuff with him. We never released anything, but yeah, we done some nice, you know, jams and like hang out and smoke a lot of weed. That's how, yeah. That was all in Berlin, you know. I used to have this flat in like Treptow, and that was my studio was also at home. But yeah, I enjoy this a lot more. Like, you bike somewhere and you go to a studio.
Actually, yeah.
It's like
not shitting what you eat, basically.
Yeah, away from home, man. Away from home.
It's something you go through, you do things, and then you just wrap it up and you go home. Actually, it's actually cool.
So what you were talking about before, like you don't really like this rave, this new rave scene and shit. But what are like new artists?
I'm not liking it. Like
and like new shit that you're actually fucking with.
Yeah, no, I keep it at my own sound, of course, man. Like, of course, there's rave records that are cool, but you're never gonna sort of. It's all been done already.
Right.
Like I feel that in my realm of the music I do, people try to be. It's done, but they try to. I don't know, man. It's hard to.
It's totally. I mean, this is something I've heard from other people, also from English people. I mean, for them, maybe this is a comeback from a different era, and for older people, they have seen it when it originally happened. I mean, for the new people, I mean, they are still. It's cool to experience, and it's better. Technology develops, and so like you can recreate this music as the music of the 80s and all the industrial stuff that also is getting recreated now. In the same manner, you can recreate acid and 90s techno music, but some people weren't back there. I mean, I wasn't as well to really see it.
So I got the till of the 90s. Basically.
So it's fair. I mean, if people didn't experience the first wave, they will experience the second, or there can be a third one.
You know, there was an acid revival, for example. Yeah, there was a whole acid revival, or a dub techno revival, electro revival.
Like the three.
Now there's a rave revival, trance revival. What are we gonna do, man?
Yeah.
And I'm not going with the trends. I'm just gonna be me, and I want to be me, and that's what I stand for, man. That's like, you know, this.
Yeah, but like, isn't there any trend that you're like fucking with that it doesn't have to be new rave or new trance or anything like that? Like any new artists, like for instance, High Electronics featured New Frames. That I really like New Frames as well.
Also try. I mean,
it's a geezer.
Yeah. You know, you played together, I think.
What was it at like? I played this.
Mattis.
Was it like the party in Berlin at the generator thing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. With Anthony, and yeah, it was good. That was good. I've been to Berlin 3 times actually. I played twice at the. So I came to Berlin in the pandemic.
Right.
Well, when everything was like, yeah, you don't have to be in a quarantine and like, but even though, you know, he's been here for, how many days were you in quarantine, man? Couple, right?
Yeah, a couple of hours.
So, but you know, like, yeah, that's like and then the last gig was at Elsa with Speedy J.
Ah, yeah, I saw that.
Nene H and
She's
Rachel
cool.
Lynn. And Rachel Lynn, was it? Like, yeah, me, Rachel Lynn, Nene H,
I didn't make it.
Speedy, and yeah, that was a good thing. And then I remind myself that actually Speedy is doing the store thing, and I told my agent to email him that I'm back in Rotterdam, and we recently done this 3-hour live set. And it goes pretty. You can find it on YouTube. It's pretty far. It goes pretty far, man.
Really cool.
It's like you know, we go from techno stuff to I don't know what it is. I cannot describe. Maybe it's like sort of electronic, noisy jazz, free jazz or something, man.
Yeah.
A lot of also like industrial sort of beats and noisy stuff.
I mean, yeah, he was making some really cool stuff with the noisy stuff before here with the modular just before the interview.
I really try to think out of the box right now because like, of course I made some techno tracks, of course I did, but in my head is like I never done anything like an album before, like, but it's like probably gonna be like really far out music, man. Like I try to experiment. Yeah, not everybody would get it, but that's not the point because I'm doing it for myself. Yeah, man, bro. Yeah. But like, most people that I said, of course, people want like a steady beat and like, but if you're really into music, you might get what I'm trying to do, you know.
Maybe because you're bored of, you know, the old shit and you're just trying to, instead of reinvent a genre, you're trying to experiment.
I'm honest, when I go out, even when I used to go out, man, I would go to specific DJs, like, because I'm not really a raver for years, man. Like, we used to go, but we used to go, but you know, we used to be in Fabric, for example, but it was like,
oh, man, like really
we would go in Fabric in London, but were we actually really ravers? We would just fucking sat backstage, bro.
Yeah.
We just sat backstage, like munging out.
Trouble, yeah.
Strumming up, fucking munging out on fucking whatever.
And the other one, the
mate.
ones that James Rushkin was doing at the
Cable.
Cable.
Yeah. We've seen some good. That's where I actually saw Cyan that for the first time in that, man. Because like,
guy.
Yeah, because they came a lot. They came actually a bit later, and they were actually the people that got me in, you know, sort of back into it again. And then of course, like, then you have Blauw. He came with like a lot with a new, fresh sort of sound too back then, you know. And that's when I thought, like, but Surgeon never stopped.
Yeah. He
never went over or regions. They never went to like. You know, some people went into minimal realms and
or more hypnotic stuff.
I always like I done an alter ego, which was more Chicago things, but with Charlton it was always being bang. But probably for the new music, I might give it another name too, man, because
right.
But I never, you know, believe it or not, if I go out. Other than it's atonal, I want to get drilled the fuck out of my head. I want to drill. I want to drill. And I used to dance a lot, when I was younger with my, you know, like my t-shirt like this, rolled up, you know. Old school, like, you know, like.
White hair now.
Fucking got hold of me.
Comparing our white hair, that's the pandemic, you know.
So like when you went out and shit, like what would you guys like? What would be the drug of choice for raving and like partying?
It used to be like pills and MDMA, but like coke and stuff. Yeah, now you know I'm old and I'm like not say that cokey. I don't want to say that, but yeah.
It doesn't mean what it sounds.
Just pills all night.
Well, yeah, no, yeah. I don't know. I think
I mean, yeah.
If pills wouldn't give you the fucking like after effect, like I'm 38 now, man. If I take a pill, my fucking legs get chopped off, brother, for a whole week. Man, I will be like in bed, like crying.
Well, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, man, no. But like,
to
you know,
take-
like literally, man. When I was young, man, like I don't want to be, maybe you know, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Like raving, like.
To take it from here somewhere else, that's something I was thinking the other day. I mean, whether how the corona and all this break we have from the clubs, is it going to affect musicians and the music they make? Because then you don't have so much performance venues anymore. And since you don't have performance venue, I mean, some people won't make so much dance-oriented music.
This is what I was thinking. So
And
what
then-
I'm thinking is that like I started making all this weird stuff. That's what I drifted off, man. Sorry. I drifted off. But like basically why I started making weird music was that I was thinking, oh, nobody's gonna fucking dance anyway, man, anytime soon.
Yeah. But it's kind of like going towards that shit. Like I am, you know, I like some of the rave shit and stuff like that, but I do get kind of bored of the same shit because you know what to expect, and I'm also like listening to a lot
With
of
a nice Hoover, with a
Sorry?
nice Hoover sound, like that's the that's the ones, man. With like the doom. Like what I was talking about, like machine funk. That's not machine funk.
It's the funk, actually. Yeah, I mean that's what
Man, believe me, man. I play some rough old gabber sort of, like, you know, the old Jeff Mills waveforms transmission, that's actually like really banging, you know, like banging, distorted, like hard, but it's funk, it funks, you know, you get like, and some of that it's like not that, like, man, let's so say it's not my cup of tea, but man, I'm not saying that people can produce it really, really well, probably,
Can you give me an example of that, like funk techno you just mentioned by Jeff Mills, like a song?
Yeah, the waveforms transmission.
The wave.
Like,
waveforms transmission. But I think he means also that there is the funk in the music. When you make music, I think it's
a bit stiff, you know. Some of the rave stuff is a bit stiff, like.
It's like you take out the music that you've heard when you were making music.
When I used to be younger, we used to be younger, I would say like, man, that's like proper white man, like there's no funk. I used to say that a lot. You know, you cannot say that, like, you know, but like that's like funkless, like, you know, you got like James Brown, or you have
punk, like you had the punk, or you had the funk. Or the punk or the funk.
Polka or something. You got James Brown.
In the 80s, for example.
You got James Brown and you got like polka music, like, you know, like not funk.
Right.
You know, like something like that.
Detroit had a lot of like, I mean, this funk in electronic music was mostly, firstly demonstrated through the Detroit people, wasn't it? I mean.
Well, like techno comes from disco music originally, doesn't it?
House.
Okay, well, house comes from disco.
Chicago house and stuff comes from a bit like that. And then you got the whole acid house thing, and then the guys from Detroit came with techno. And it means
the summer of '89.
Yeah, they say techno because it's technology, you know, technology. Making music
like
with
underground resistance and shit like that.
You know, you make music with machines, and like, if you think about machine, I have a modular system here, but like as soon as you start connecting stuff together, it's like becomes modular, you know, in my way.
Sure. So, okay, so you still haven't told me about like artists from it, not from any new wave, but like new artists or like new labels that you're like fucking with the sound, because that. Maybe they're more, you know, experimental, not that mainstream. Sorry?
The neighbor is back again. He's pumping his music again. He's probably drinking also, man. Anyways, yeah, new artists, man. Like, who's new, man, bro? Like, who's new?
Yeah, I mean,
like it is. Wait, let me check, man. Okay,
You
I'm
mean
gonna.
from the more melodic stuff you mean? You mean
Oh, I'm gonna
maybe
check now.
not trance, but like the more melodic. I place it as melodic, fast melodic.
Yeah,
music,
I don't play any of that stuff.
Do
It's
you
not
know?
the sense of that, you know?
Yeah. No, I respect what they do, but it's not my cup of tea, man. Like, it's not my cup of tea. So whenever we're on the same booking agency, like I am on the same booking agency, but I do completely something else. So I'm so not attached to that side of the music. Uh, there's some people. Wait, let me check in my. And I'm just gonna name a couple of like they're new. Wait, let me.
You guys
I've
know
got
this label Art
I've
Imprint?
got this list now called COVID demo tracks. Reminder, COVID lockdown tracks, mate. 2020.
Do you guys know this label called R Imprint?
What is it?
R, like an R, imprint. R Imprint.
Our imprint.
Our imprint. Yeah. Actually, it's from the Qbase, isn't it?
Nah.
Did you call it?
No. He
No,
released
it's from these guys from Bielefeld in Germany called
Okay.
Jonas Landwehr and Felix Flair.
I don't know them.
Because they do like IDM, or IDM is like really broad, but like they do a lot of experimental shit.
Oh yeah, I love that. Like, you know them. Hook them up with me, man. I would love to hear it.
Yeah, I can send you some tracks by them and shit.
Man, there's like recently. Yeah, but Team Xavier is my old flatmate. He makes quite nice music, man.
Who's that?
Yeah, Richard Devine, but he's not old school. Richard Devine, he's not new school. So I will get to the new people, man. There
Right.
is like, wait, let me find them. This is Colombian guy, yeah. Divide. He's like some guy. I recently came across this and I play it. Of course, there is a. Yeah, Tencel, but Tencel is around for a long time also because he's like Axiom, right? One of the guys from Axiom, yeah. But he released a solo now. Yeah, DJ Balu, man, I don't know who this is, but yeah, great track.
DJ Balu.
DJ Balu, yeah. And then there's other people,
Balu with a V.
Yeah. And Cusp, an artist called Cusp. KUSP.
KUSP, Cusp. Okay, I don't know those guys.
He's digging it now.
Yeah, I'm digging now. I'm really digging for new people to play that sound in my sort of range of feelings and emotion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was like this man. Like I don't know which one I played, but there's like Corey James or ORBE. And man, there's like a lot of cool little people coming through now, and like, yeah, man, it's great. Like, what's this name of this guy, man? He made like, forgot his name. Wait.
How about the dude from
Uncle Fun?
Uncle Fun?
Yeah, a guy called Uncle Fun. Like it's FON in the end, and he's from Spain, I think, man. From Madrid or something. I think they're like,
Uncle Fun?
Uncle Fun, yeah.
Right. And he's
Fun with an O.
Right.
What's his name?
What was it like the dude from California?
138.
Yeah.
I saw that they had something new out. I haven't spoke to them for a while. I spoke to Hanson recently. He's like just into his modular venture and stuff right now. So everybody's doing quite well, man. I think it was a shock for us all, man. Like, because we would not fucking think something like this could happen, So
yeah.
Philip. Oh yeah, there's some Russian guy I play. Philip Gorbachev. Yeah, Philip Gorbachev. Pretty cool, sort of nice music. Well, I forgot some. I feel that I forgot someone, man.
Yep.
Iteration Corp. What the fuck is this? Iteration Corp. Yeah, that was pretty good. But it's all new people. So yeah, man. There is more probably. There's probably more, man.
Yeah, sure, of course.
But you know, like, yeah, that's sort of the people I've been checking out. That came straight out of my promo list from last week, for people that I want to support, and like, yeah, you know, it's cool.
Yep. Yeah,
And
no,
it's all unknown people, yeah. So you probably don't know any of those, and I'm not talking about new artists like as in VTTS or you know, like I don't mean any, you know, because it's not my real man. Oh yeah, Miro.
Oh, Miro, yeah.
Miro, he done one release on Mold, and now he just got his own release out, like Miro La Paso. Low Paso, right? I done a remix for him recently, so that came out recently, and yeah, man, he's someone to keep an eye on too, and yeah. He's not new. Also, he's not new, but you know.
You also did a remix for Dave Tarrida's.
Oh yeah, that was for what's the name of the label again?
Right Radio. Right Radio.
What?
Right Radio.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sorry, man. Sorry. Right Radio. Yeah. You know, I've done that. That was fun.
That's a crazy remix. Like, why did you name it Charlton's Anxious Eyes remix?
He called it Anxious Eyes. The guy called it Anxious Eyes, you know, like, yeah. You know, it's probably anxious for him, you know, like the creepy sounds I done with fun.
Yeah. Definitely creepy sounds, right. What do you think about that, you know, kind of genre of techno, like Dave Tarrida's kind of music?
And yeah, man, Dave Tarrida's around for a long time, bro, and man, he makes great stuff, you know, like I think he's great. That's why I done it, man. He's a legend. Legend, bro.
Massive.
You know, going back to VTSS and Hector Oaks and SPF DJ, this kind of, I don't really fuck with their music as well. Like, I don't give a shit.
Man, respect for what they do, man. They have like a lot of, they have a big following, but you know, there's a debate. There's a little bit of a debate for me. Right? Of course, they play techno records, but you know, it's not all techno they play. Like,
it's all right.
Super mainstream.
It's all right, man. Everybody will do what they want, man, and you know, let them be. Let them be. Let them do their stuff. But I respect them. I met them all, and I cannot say, like, you know, like people have a bit of an opinion about me. That
I remember Hector since ages in Berlin.
But Hector Oak is not new, man. This motherfucker's around for a long time. He's around for a long time, and he just recently broke through, you know. Yeah. And I think it's also they are from the Herensauna crew in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean, Herensauna came really late.
Yeah, they're from the Herensauna, like, and it has nothing to do with my sound or.
Yeah, it's a different culture.
It's not a different. Yeah.
Yep.
Different. I think.
Niche. It's a different subgenre.
And you're sitting here right now, right? I think I was misplayed. Like, I don't belong to Berlin. It was good for me to be there for a while, but I don't belong to Berlin.
Yeah. Maybe music-wise.
Music-wise, I don't belong to Berlin, and it was great for my career. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Or maybe sort of.
It is. I mean,
like, you know, you put Berlin behind your name. I made maybe 2 releases in the 5 years I was living in Berlin, my friend. So that says something about like your creativity in Berlin. Right. There is no creativity in Berlin. No, like let's so speak. There probably is creativity, but it's hard to find, maybe, you know, because
it's personal, man. I mean,
it's personal. Yeah, no, for me it's like.
And it goes like that.
Because I spoke to, as I said, I was with Speedy J the other week, and he lived in Berlin too, you know, for a long, or like he would be there every summer. He would like get a flat there, you know. And it was almost thinking to, but Berlin is not the same anymore, man. It changed.
It's true.
Because I think we got the tail of Berlin, of the nicest bit.
Yeah.
Are you 5 years? I was 5 years. How long do you live there now? 7, right? I came a year later or 2 years.
2013.
Yeah, I came in 14, 15, I think.
No, I think the end
Okay,
of 13.
2004. Yeah.
The end of 13.
Yeah, yeah, and I moved. Yeah, 2020. I'm gone out of Berlin now. So I lived there 6 years almost.
Yep.
So was it great? Yes and no.
How, like,
You know, if you're
side was,
opinionated person who would.
I'm sorry, I got you.
People should just do their own thing, and I can. Yes.
It broke off, like it froze, like for like you said it was great and it was not so great, like.
Oh, right. I said like it's great, and it was not so great, you know, because like I'm a quite opinionated person, and people cannot, you know, like face an opinion sometimes. You know what I mean? Like,
Berlin comes with its rules, and then I mean it's like a certain place, you know. I mean, if you're used to something else, maybe you just like it takes you time to adapt, and then like, you wonder if this. I don't know. I'm assuming, but because we've been hanging a lot especially the first years in Berlin.
yeah, I'm proper Rotterdam guy, yeah. Man. Like you know, we just say what the fuck we want. That's the problem. And now I stopped. You know, like man, you know, like you're also young and you want to flex. You know, yeah, you want to flex when you're younger. And now I don't fucking care about fuck all anymore, man. I just want to make music myself. And
one thing I can tell you, I can see him more happy here. Like I've seen him in Berlin, I've seen him in England, I've visited him today after a long time. I can tell he's a happy man here. I met a happy man, you know. It's like, so maybe like,
just relax, man. Like yeah. Berlin is a city, you know, and it's quite like, for me it wasn't that hard, you know, but it's quite for the industry it's quite rough and hard city, you know. Because you might go to Berlin and think you're going to make a fucking career. Yeah, a lot of people do that, but I already had one, sort of. So for me, it was different. I just came to Berlin and, oh, this is the Charlton. That's how it went. Like, I would be somewhere and, oh, you're Charlton, you know, and people would, like, give me sort of respect. So it's like, it's been a ride in many ways, but also that I was like, right, there's nothing really special happening. And I thought all my friends, I would think I would see a lot. I would see more here when they would come over to play anyways, man. Yeah, so it was actually, but I also had a girlfriend, so it was a bit of a different, it was a bit of a different thing. You know, I moved there for love. It wasn't for my career.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
I was there. Like,
that's a true story, man.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to. Man, you can ask him. I was like, you got to move to Berlin.
It's totally true.
I was saying to him, you got to move to Berlin. Man, it's fucking trendy fucking bullshit, bro. But then I moved there myself, you know, and it's cool. Berlin is cool.
Is it place?
But what's going to come back of that? Like, that you can go to a filthy club for 2 days.
Yeah.
No. COVID. That's not going to happen anymore, man. Oh, you know what I mean? I think about the...
Let's see.
Let's see what's going to happen. I hope for... It's not going to be like 2019 again after this. It's going to take a while. So
yeah, totally. I think also in the very end of before the Corona, the lockdown, I mean, things were actually getting superficial, man. I mean, so everything was getting too much, from the gigs to the new people, to the agencies, to the PR agencies. It was getting a bit like over the top. I think maybe this freezing.
Yeah, man.
It's very good for the music. Yes. It's good for the people. Also, people are more music focused. Before it was about party.
It was about
now it's about music.
The attention. Like sometimes I would walk into Burger and I would think like, okay, this is nice, but it wasn't really, you know, like people come there for numerous stuff. You know, like a couple of things. Thank you, mate.
Boy.
Nice one, mate.
Yeah.
Just the neighbor just came to bring us a beer.
Good night.
So, you know.
But like, yeah, like I get what you're saying. Like it used to look like people are just going there to take drugs and to flex and to say that like I've been to Berghain, like fucking around and wearing some fetish shit and stuff like that, which is cool. But it was just like super exaggerated, like towards 20.
Yeah, but what's the essence? What's the essence of a fucking club? It's music. And like, I know some DJs get fucking idolized also, which is not the good.
I mean, it happens everywhere, even in
Of course, but you're a human being, man. You just wanna, I wanna make music. I'm not gonna be any different. Like,
and that's a stance in music. That's a certain perspective to stand for. Actually, that's what it is.
I like to talk to a lot of people. Like, yeah, you can, man. I'm actually quite like chill. You can come. Sorry, man. You can. It was a burp. You can come and talk to me. And like, I like actually. That's why I like the unity. And sometimes, that's why I say the group things, man.
Yeah.
Back in the days, it used to be sort of like a group, one group united thing, and not like different subgroups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's more competitive now.
Competitive, yeah, man. Yeah.
So many people.
I gave up with the competitive, and even though I was never, man, I done 9 EPs in all my almost, how long, 18 years or whatever I'm making music. So for some reason, I'm doing quite well for somebody that didn't leave a lot of music behind in a way.
Yeah.
So I'm quite fairly lucky, and I could have had more output. I guess, but less is more.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Okay, we just passed like 2-hour mark. I still.
Wow.
I'm waiting for a cigarette in my hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna
smoke it.
You got something else to ask? So
yeah,
I have to
like the only thing that I haven't asked you that I wanted to ask you about was your labels / brand Poverty is Violence. Can you tell me a little bit about the concept behind that and like how that shit came?
Yeah, well, me and Nick started this. Me and Nick Danton, yeah. So like, just to get it out of the way, we started, and like, we still want to do it, but it's such maybe I should do something myself, and I keep on saying it, but we had like great artists, and like, it's hard to find like what we want in that, like, particular realm of sound, because it was quite authentic, weirdo shit.
I think it would be a good idea.
It was not really even the stuff like I would, like, people were quite surprised because it was different. It was a lot slower also, so like, but I don't know, man. I maybe start a new label. I don't know.
It's a good idea, actually. It's like,
I might start a new label soon. I was already thinking about it to do it before COVID, and yeah, man, it's gonna be music label. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know yet what we gonna do, but it's gonna be yeah, probably some Dutch word. Dingetjes.
Nuken in the koeken.
Nah, dingetjes. So dingetjes means little things.
All right.
Appreciate the little dingetjes.
Yep.
Just little things, like very
cool.
Very little. So yeah, man, that's basically. We might do something with Poverty is Violence, and we want to, but it was quite hard to find music, and yeah, XXX is this guy from Amsterdam, of course, and he done quite a bit of it. Yeah, we wanted to do another VA, and we were planning that, but then we had some problems with the distributor and stuff. But then we went to another one, and I don't know if what we can do, man. It's yeah, man.
Right, cool, Charlton, dude.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for the interview. Thanks for your time and the insights. Appreciate you, G. So,
yeah, it was cool. And there's a coincidence. Alex was here too.
Yeah, it was funny. I saw that.
Yeah, maybe you guys can plan something else in the future.
If you're into it, 100%, dude. Let's put it in. Do you live in Berlin, right?
I do live in Berlin, so we can just meet, actually.
Yeah. We can do it. We can do it on site at my place, 100%.
Yeah, that's wicked. Yeah, man. Nice one, man.
Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much,
ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening.